Thank you, Stacy. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to have the national anthem of Trinidad and Tobago, which will be followed with an invocation from a district Rotaract representative-elect, Jevon Reimer, of the Rotary Club of Tortola of District 7020, the national anthem. Remain standing. Jevon Reimer.
Please bow our heads as we sit in the Rotaract prayer. O God, our Almighty Father and ruler of the universe, we thank Thee for the inspiration You have given us for the Rotary and Rotaract movement based upon service to mankind. We humbly beg You to continue Thy grace to enable us to do our service to ourselves and to our neighbors, and to the honor and glory of Thy holy name. For this we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Please be seated. Rotary International Director and Special Representative to District 7030, Michael Colasudo Sr. and his partner in service, Ann Colasudo, DG Roger Bose, DG-elect Wadi Sauma, DG nominee Dominic Venere, DG-designate Trevor Blake, past district governors and partners in service, Rotary Coordinator for Zone 34, Art McQueen, representatives from Rotary International, Marnie Nixon and Rebecca Holloway, District Conference Chair, Vasha Suraj Singh, Assistant Governors and past Presidents, District Rotaract Representative-elect Kezra Lashley, fellow Rotarians, partners in service, Rotaracts, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media. My name is Jamir Usman from the Rotary Club of Princestown, and my task here this evening is to simply introduce to you the Master of Ceremony. But how do you introduce a naughty nutcracker? One who chews and choops at the same time. Yet she is truly adorable and admirable for her performances as a comedian, as an actor, and who can perform many tasks. She is well known throughout the Caribbean and many other parts of the world. Distinguished ladies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the lovable Granny Nikki Crosby. Let's hear a round of applause for Nikki.
Thank you, Jim. Good evening, everyone. Most of the foreigners going, what do you mean, Granny? We'll explain it to you later. Thank you so much. It's such an honor being here. And to all the foreigners, Trinidad and Tobago, we love visitors. And this is our evening to celebrate. I know you've had a great time. And trust me, we have a really special good evening planned for you. Okay, so let me pull out the glasses now. Yeah, in the 40s now, you need glasses. So I'll just wipe them. Hey, we have paparazzi. Nice, nice. Okay, so as introduced, yes, everyone knows me as either Nikki Crosby or Auntie Nikki or Granny, some of the roles that I have. And it's really a pleasure being here this evening as to host and to welcome you to the closing ceremony and gala of the Rotary's Clubs District 7030 Conference 2017. Now, tonight's theme is all about celebrating Rotary and the amazing jobs you guys have done and made in your communities. And the world is just making it a very general, a better place. As you know, this conference annually brings together members of the Rotary family and in our region and the Southern Caribbean. And it is the ultimate showcase for the program and projects underway at each of the Rotary and Rotaract. Am I saying that right? Rotaract? Yeah. Clubs throughout the district. Now, I'm sure it was a terrific opportunity for fellowship as the attendees are made up of both Rotarians and Rotaractors from around the world and the Caribbean, more definitely, representing an array of cultures, professions, and backgrounds. And we really hope that you enjoyed each other's company and that you got some amazing ideas from your peers on projects that you can implement in your various communities. Now tonight we celebrate Rotary, and with any big celebration, it's important for us to know who's here. So we're going to start a roll call of the member countries that make up District 7030, who have been here with us over the last 4 days. And guys, there's a big finale, so make some noise. It's all about celebrating, all right? So we're going down the road. Antigua and Barbuda. Nice. Aruba. Welcome. Nice. Barbados. They need 2 drinks. 2 drinks for Barbados. A little more. Bonaire. Nice. Curacao. Yeah. You know, just A, B, and C, they make noise for watching all here. Where's Dominica? 2 made it, that's all right. We appreciate you. All right. French Guyana. Welcome. Grenada and Curacao. No, sorry, Carriacou. Grenada and Carriacou. Nice to see you. All right, Guadeloupe and Marie Galliante. Guyana. Nice to have you. Where's Martinique? Montserrat. Woo. St. Kitts and Nevis. Beautiful islands. St. Lucia. I want to come for jazz, we go talk. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. All right, I see you, partner. You alone, don't worry, wave boy. You, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Where is Suriname? Oh, good. It's like the whole of Suriname come. And of course, we have to make a special round of applause for the representatives of the Rotary International here from the United States of America. Where are them? Are they right? 2 of them? 3? 4? Howdy. I was trying to learn the different languages. American, howdy. All right, and of course, the country home, Trinidad and Tobago. And on behalf of Trinidad and Tobago, we're really happy you guys are here and hope that you have really enjoyed your stay with us. And of course, I said tonight is all about the celebration. So, well, one thing we hope that you've noticed from us Trinis, we like to party. Yeah, yeah? So this is the party capital of the Caribbean, and from what I understand, you guys had a little taste of it last night down in the Anchorage on the beautiful western peninsula, Chagaramas. So, did we live up to the hype? Did we start, were you all whining to the ground? Yeah? You all jamming still? No? You all look hungry, don't worry. We go feed and we'll do the jamming. So, as you may recall, this year's conference theme was Celebrate Rotary, and it has had great significance. Firstly, it's the 25th anniversary of the District 7030. So please make some noise. And keep it going, because it is also the 100th anniversary of the District 7030. Yeah. Of the foundation, sorry, of the Rotary Foundation. So we congratulate that. I mean, 100 years is really something to celebrate. And last but not least, we were really proud and happy to welcome the ABC, Aruba, Bonaire, and of course, Curacao. Yeah, y'all don't need to clap for them. They're clapping for themselves. Nice. And finally, this is the first time that Rotary and Rotaract are having a joint conference in district. So I think that deserves a nice round of applause too. And what has been amazing is to see the young members along with senior members really working together and interacting. So that was pretty cool. As the celebration culminates tonight, we promise that you're going to have a great time. So, here's how the evening's program is going to run. First, we're going to start with a beautiful dinner from Hyatt, and they never disappoint. So, good evening, Hyatt staff, and thank you for the great service. And yeah, give them a round of applause. We want to make them happy. And then we're going to have some live entertainment while you eat, and we are also going to give out some special awards, of course, and we're going to continue the jamming. We have one of the biggest, baddest bands in soca music and chutney from around the world being with us here, the big band Karma. So ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, again, I welcome you to the closing ceremony and gala banquet of the Rotary Club District 7030 Conference 2017. At this time, we invite you to join us for dinner. We have different buffet stations, but just wait and our lovely Hyatt staff will escort you to your station, all right? In the meantime, enjoy the DJ's music, and as promised, we'll have some live entertainment, okay? So enjoy your dinner, and we'll be right back with plenty more.
Just before I reintroduce our Master of Ceremonies, I was given a big buff. For those of you who are not Trinidadians, would not know what a big buff is. It's a good tongue lashing. Because in my introduction to our Master of Ceremonies today, I completely forgot that she is an honorary Rotarian and a Paul Harris Fellow from my own club, the Rotary Club of Francistown. Nikki, my apologies. Thank you.
I am so embarrassed by you guys.
Oh, God. Come in.
I should buff him. Give him a good Trini buff. So thank you, Jim. It's okay, you know, once you're a Rotarian, you know. How are you? I have to give you a joke, though. When they honored me and I had to receive my medal and stuff, guess what I wore? A cold shoulder. Nobody told me the left side you're supposed to stick the pin in. So there I was, ready to receive my pin and had nothing to stick it in. So I learned the hard way. So I just want to make sure everybody's okay. How are you? Yes? Trini Posse, right? Yeah, you know, all the Trinis have a look. Look that look. See the look? How are you? Curacao. What do you speak in Curacao? English?
We speak Dutch.
Dutch, right.
English too.
Oh, English, so you're understanding me. You don't need an interpreter. All right. I love your hair. It's very sexy. Sexy. How you say sexy in Dutch?
At my age,
Yeah. At least you have hair. Not everybody have. So celebrate your hair. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
Good. Yes. And where you from?
I'm from Barbados.
Ah, lovely Barbados. I was there, you know. I didn't know me there, you know.
My club had you there.
Yes, you remember?
Yeah, I picked you up from the airport.
Oh, you the man picked me up from the airport, yes. And I know that bald head somewhere. And how are you talking about bald head? Woo!
I have a lot of hairs.
You have a lot of hair somewhere else. All right, moving on. Moving on. Little too much info. How are you? You look like an angel. And where are you from?
Suriname.
Oh, Suriname too. There, the Dutch thing. All right. Moving. You do Dutch too, right? No? No. No, what you do there? English?
No, Dutch.
Oh, you do Dutch. Okay. Yeah. Don't even, you do Dutch. Woo. And what table is this? Woohoo! Suriname. This is your Suriname posse. How are you? Have you had a good time? Did you whine and go down to the ground and jump? You'll have one tonight. Yeah, he picking up the Trini ways. How are you? What table is this? Dominic. Oh my gosh, I love Dominic. The beautiful mud things you go in and rub your back and come out feeling 10 years younger. Like you are really like maybe 85. And yeah, and then he soak and look how good you're looking. Lovely to have Dominica. How are you going? Talking about pretty hair. Love your hair. Are you an interpreter? How are you? Where are you from?
Grenada.
Grenada. I have family there. You know, Trinidad and Grenada. I have a little family there. How are you though?
Very good.
Good, good. I know we can't beat all your beaches because you'll have grand aunts, lovely beaches. So welcome, welcome. All right, what table is this? Woo! I seeing you having on the headphones. Where you from?
Guadeloupe.
Guadeloupe, wee. Ye? If you need to wee, you go straight there and turn left, okay? All right, got that table handled. You okay? Another interpreter, yeah. You okay? You can understand me? All right, good. Those were the headphones. Are targeting them, you know. How are you going? Where are you from? Let me hear. Guyana, beautiful Guyana, the most gorgeous buildings. All you have good wood in Guyana. Yeah, you are good wood there, all right? And where the stable from? Who you texting? She not on you. She going out on Saturday night. So we will keep you company while, I don't know who keeping she company, but we will keep you company. All right? It's a good thing you understand what I say. Nice. Welcome, welcome. Who's this table down in the back here? All kind of people. There's a Caribbean posse. St. Kitts, Trinidad, St. Kitts, Nevis. Where the Anne? You know, St. Kitts and Nevis. No, sorry. How are you going? You good? You having a good time? You're going to dance tonight? There's a dancing night, you know. If only feel last night was the dancing night. Tonight. Anyway, you had to worry about heels. How are you going? You good? Where you from? Give me a little touch. Tobago, hey, Tobago in the house. Nice to see you. And the last table down here, where are you from? Hey, there's a Trini. And Dominica, nice to have you. We're my Trini posse. Trini, Dominica, Trini. Ooh, looking like a little sexy man with the beard and stuff there, yes. That's your new look, you know, ladies, the beard. You have to pick up a man with a beard. And you have beard, which is good. Some of them have beard, but some spots in between. Yeah, struggling beards you're representing. Okay, so we are ready for more entertainment. We also have some amazing awards. So let me make my... Hey, there's a man following with the camera. I have a word for that, you know, stock. I'm making my way up. Again, to all our visitors, we're really glad that you've been here, and I hope you've made some new friends. And we're also getting ready to give out some special awards. So soon as I make my way up. How will you go in? What table is this? This Aruba. Yes, how are you? And them. Why when you say Aruba, you just feel to move? Aruba! Yeah, you just can't say hi. I'm from Aruba. You have to go, Aruba!
All right, so how about we get the awards going? We have some amazing awards. And, oh, that was our long walk in the back there in heels, boy. I'm coming. Making my way. Nice.
We just switch off. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, we trust that you enjoyed your dinner. Let's give it up to the Hyatt staff. Thank you so much. And of course, let's give them another round of applause, the Alternative Quartet. Some very talented youths. Now, over the past 4 days, more than 600 Rotarians and Retractors participated in the District 7030 Conference 2017, held right here in beautiful Trinidad and Tobago. Many of you were able to enjoy the sights, the sounds, and the culture of the country with special tours, field trips, and of course, some great events. Now, this country is represented by 3 colors: red, white, and black, which are seen on our national flag, which was designed by Carly Chang and has great meaning. Now, red is the color that most represents the expression of the country. It represents the vitality of the land and its people. It's the warmth and the energy of the sun and the courage and the friendliness of the people. White is the sea by which these lands abound. The cradle of our heritage, the purity of our aspirations, and the equality of all men under the sun. And black represents for us the dedication of the people joined together by one strong bond. It is a color of strength and of unity and of purpose and the wealth of the land. So together, these colors represent earth, water, and fire. As host country, we hope that we lived up to your expectations and that during the conference you experience the true essence of the red, the black, and the white. Right now, I'd like to call on District Governor Roger Bose, if he can help me as we toast this evening. Yes, here he brings. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I invite you to join Roger and raising your glasses in the toast to the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the host country of District 7030 Conference 2017. Roger?
Can we all stand for 1 minute? Half a minute? Fellow Rotarians, please join me in a toast to the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Roger. You can be seated. At this time, I'd like to, if we could put our hands together and welcome our German ambassador, Your Excellency, Dr. Guygens. Give him a round of applause and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We know you're a very busy man, so we really appreciate it. Thank you, Roger. We'll be hearing from Roger in a little while. So, as we keep the ball rolling with this evening's celebration, it's time for some special awards and presentations. We begin with a special video message from the District Rotaract representative, Everest Jean-Pierre, Everestus Jean-Pierre, who unfortunately could not be with us this evening. So please, if you can turn your attention to the video.
Again for not being there in person to deliver this message. I'm looking forward to seeing all the pictures from the projects, from the parties. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone again. This year's theme of Do Better, Be Better, as I said, it was a personal mantra, and during my travels for this year's DRR, I was able to see how clubs took that upon themselves and reflected it in their plans and objectives for the year, from not only a club standpoint, but from a personal standpoint. I want to also tell clubs that with the whole emphasis of doing better and being better and making the last time you did it your benchmark, with this knowledge, every year should be your best year. So looking back, wherever you look back to, we shouldn't be thinking back to better times. Because if we are doing better and being better each time we do something, then the best year for your club will be the current year, and it will not be as good as the next. My year at DRR has taught me so much about myself. From learning all these leadership aspects to motivation to perseverance, it really helped me discover potential in me I didn't know, and now my next venture is to really tap into that potential and turn it into something magical. DRRE Kesra. We've had discussions about what to expect coming into your year, but I have so much faith in you that I felt like some of these discussions were not even necessary. With your history in Rotaract, with your experience in Rotaract, I can only expect that you will do better and be better than this current year. But I do wish you all the best. I look forward to showing you all the support that you would need as immediate past DRR. I'd like to take this time to really thank those people who contributed to making this year the success that it was. I would not be able to go into all the names, but those presidents who called me, stayed in touch, and not just for Rotaract reasons, but just to make sure I was okay. All the Rotarians that kept me going with the motivation, with the support throughout the year, and the direct assistance when I called upon them. It's really appreciated. There are those who I have to specifically recognize for their contribution to this year. DG Roger, we connected, we had shared goals for this year, and that is why we're able to be here right now with this successful conference. District Secretary Anne-Marie, first time I met you, you're such a wonderful person, and every time I see you, it's just a happy occasion, and you really do make me and all Rotaractors feel like we really are partners in service. IPDRR Giselle, I cannot even begin to talk about how amazing you are and how much you have contributed to this year. I don't know anyone else who works as hard as you, and I really want you to know that you are appreciated. And I'd also like to thank Rotarian Abigail, who initially was called upon just to assist and guide with the marketing and communications aspect, but stayed on and was very hands-on and instrumental in making sure that this year was very successful from a marketing standpoint and from a holistic standpoint. So to all my Rotaractors, thank you. It was wonderful, all the district visits, to really meet you, and I was feeling so welcome, to develop so many new friendships. I hope you all, got something from my visits, that I definitely did. I'm hoping that you had a great conference experience, and we're looking forward to doing better and being better in the 2017-2018 Rotary year.
And that was your district Rotaract representative, Everestus Jean-Marie. And of course, unfortunately, he couldn't be with us. We now invite to the stage District Rotaract Representative-elect Kesra Lashley to present special awards. Give her a round of applause. Where's Kesra? Oh, is it him? Sorry. Give Kesra, him, a round of applause. Sorry, Ariel, sorry.
I forgive you.
You would forgive me? I'm fixing my thing.
Thank you.
Need anything? Water?
I'll refill later.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to adopt the protocols previously established. I am presenting on behalf of DR Everestus, the Club of the Year for the Rotaract year 2016-2017. So at this time, I would like to call the winner. The winner is, can I have a drum roll? We have the Rotary Club of Georgetown. I'd like to call the president of the Rotary Club of Georgetown, Guyana, to accept the award. So welcome as she comes. Congratulations, and a job well done. Thank you very much. We have one special presentation to make to DG Roger. It's on behalf of the Rotary Clubs of District 7030. We want to acknowledge your contribution you have made to our district for the past Rotary year, and we wanted to do it tangibly. So we really want to say we appreciate you, and we look forward to working with you as we continue our journey in Rotary and Rotary. So this is a small token on behalf of our Rotary district. And we, as I said, we really appreciate the contribution of our district governor. He has really engaged and embraced Rotary, and we thank you for having and believing in us to have this first joint Rotary district conference.
Oh, sure. You guys should look at it first.
Wow, give Roger a round of applause. Woo! You make out like a bandit there, boy. I hope you're not going home in a maxi. That was pressure. I know. So congratulations again, and thank you, Mr. Lashley. Thanks, Mr. Lashley. Give him a round of applause for presenting the Rotaract Awards, and we say a big hearty congrats again to Roger. Tonight, we celebrate you. Now, remember earlier, guys, I mentioned that this evening would be a grander celebration. Well, as you know, Rotary and Rotaract, we also celebrate our differences. It's the essence of what makes living in the world such a beautiful experience. So many different cultures and abilities coming together. At this time, we celebrate someone from the National Center for Persons with Disabilities. Remember the video you all saw Thursday lunch session? So let me tell you a little about her. Tashan Gibson. She started at the National Center in 2015. She was enrolled in garment construction. After 1 year of being in that skill area, she wrote the National Examination Council exam, after which she switched to beauty culture and was preparing to write the NEC exam after being in a skill for just 1 year. Tashian is a very ambitious young lady. She's very active in sports. She plays volleyball, cricket, basketball, and has a passion for track and field. During a concert at her school, volunteered to sing, and at that moment realized how really talented she was. She was immediately placed in the band where she performs at various events, and last being the President's House. She's also entered the music festival, placed second. She's a very talented young lady and very passionate about music. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very honored to introduce her, and she's going to perform a piece this evening, so please put your hands together and let's welcome Tashan Gibson. Thank you so much. Okay, so over the last 4 years, days, had too much wine. Woo. Over the last 4 days, you would have heard some inspiring stories and met some really, truly remarkable people. We hope that your experience here with us will help you build capacity and would have given you something to replicate in your various clubs and communities. So, District 7030, have you been inspired the last few days? Yeah? Well, from what I've been hearing, you all had an amazing time from the cultural night at the government campus plaza, where I heard there was a huge conga line happening, and to the opening ceremony at Napa with the Laventil Rhythm section. You know, we were able to show you so much of our culture, Three Canal, and we really know that some of you all will be jamming still just now. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for some more special awards and presentations. This time, we'd like to welcome back to the stage District Governor Roger Bose for some special remarks to lead the presentation of the Rotary Awards. Please, let's welcome him again. Mr. Bose, Roger. How you pronounce his name? Is Bose or Bose? Bose. Oh, so that's like the speaker people? Mm-hmm. We could talk after. I want a little hookup later. You have a discount? Yeah? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Roger.
Thank you so much, Nikki. So when I was growing up in my home, although I am a very affable person, at least I think that I am, I grew up in a very strict home. My father was extremely strict. He was in the army, and he used to make us stand at attention when we were speaking to him from a very young boy. This is how I grew up in my home. I suppose as a result of that, part of me has, I suppose, a disciplined streak, but the other part of me was decided at that point that I was not going to be as strict as my father. However, you know, there's some lessons that you learn that all of us in this room, I'm sure, would remember from our parents for one reason or the other. And this one stuck with me. Because he was such a disciplinarian, this obviously was reflected in how we did at school, how well we did at school. And of course, he wanted us to do as well as we possibly can. So I would come home from school with, you know, a grade of 60 out of 100 or whatever. And to be honest, as I got older, the older I got, and if those grades remained the same, is the more scared I was to go home, because my father, apart from being a disciplinarian, was also, I suppose, a perfectionist, or maybe there's a correlation there somewhere. And the question that he would ask, he would never commend you on the 60% that you got right. He would always talk about the 40% that you got wrong. So you tried a little harder, and then you up that grade from 60 to 75, and you feel all great. You're going to go home and tell him that you got 75. And he looked at you straight in the eye and said, well, okay, fine, but what about the 25 that you got wrong? And this is the kind of lesson that we learned going along all the way to the point of the fact that, unfortunately, I've still not actually acquired 100 yet. But the point is that I guess I'm still striving for that. The point I'm making is that too often, and especially nowadays, I have noticed with individuals, with people who are working in their jobs, and even with Rotarians to a certain extent, and maybe there's a tad of a controversial statement I'm about to make, but I'll say it anyway because you know that's how I am. Or most of you who have heard me speak before have heard me mention this, but I want to repeat it tonight because it's probably my last opportunity in front of this crowd. But that lesson about always looking at the balance that you did not get right or that you did not do well is something that I think all of us need to think about. I think society nowadays has brought us to a point which is very unfortunate to reward mediocrity. And I think rewarding mediocrity is not a good idea at all. In fact, it could put us in a, thank you. We could get accustomed to that, and we could put ourselves in a rut where we continue to convince ourselves that halfway or three-quarter way is good enough. And I maintain that halfway or three-quarter way is never good enough, regardless of what you're doing. Whether you're doing your job, whether you're taking care of your children, or whether you are giving an effort towards your Rotary Club projects. So let us not go down that path. And I say this because I'm hoping, of course, nearing the handover to Wadi, that all of you incoming presidents in particular would not think for 1 minute of giving anything that is close to mediocre effort towards your clubs and towards the district and the new district governor. So by show of applause, I would like to know that you would not be doing this and you would be giving your best effort. I have the privilege of having some people around me that has made my job maybe not easier, but easier to bear. Because as all district governors, past district governors in this room know, and all the incoming district governors in this room do not yet know, you can have a wonderful team around you, and it will just make things easier to bear rather than easier necessarily. So I wanted to commend and present some tokens of awards to various people who have helped me. And as I mentioned to a few PDGs over the course of the last few days, some of whom, because they know me a little better, perhaps saw a little bit of the stress manifested on my face from time to time. Although most Rotarians and Rotaractors have made very interesting comments, because I feel I should be in Hollywood or something. But they've made very interesting comments along the line of, you look like you look like everything's under control, and you look like you're not having any type of stress whatsoever. So clearly, my wonderful smile hides all that stress that is actually in the background. But the people, as I mentioned, who have helped me along the way during the course of this year, and in particular towards helping for the planning of this conference and execution of this conference thus far, did present a challenge to a certain extent, because when RI President's Rep Mike, or rather when I met him the first day, and I mentioned this last night as well for those of you who remember, which there may be few in the room, when I said to him that I feel that what I've heard from the planning of the committees for the various evenings and days, that as this conference went on, it would get progressively better. And I sort of made a challenge, or challenged myself, as a matter of fact, at the time, to see whether that was possible. Now, up to last night, which was the third day and night in a row, he agreed with me at that point in time that it seemed to have been getting progressively better. So as tonight is not yet finished, and because I'm at the microphone now, I will say that I'm pretty sure that when tonight is done and we're dropping you to the airport tomorrow at 6:30 in the morning, you will be making similar comments, although sleepy, I'm sure. These folks have done such a great job, and I will speak now about the district team and the conference team. There's a lot of overlap with those two teams, but Many of them have gone beyond the call of duty, as I suppose you would realize that they would have to. And as with any kind of planning of an event such as this, there are always going to be hitches and fires, and many of them you have to deal with simultaneously, et cetera, et cetera. Just this evening, RI President Mike noticed that one of these very dedicated Rotarians passed by the table and gave me a one-word report, which he noticed and I noticed. I have a feeling nobody else in the room noticed. The one-word report was, he looked at me and he said, "Problem solved," and then walked off. And I think Mike was appreciating the fact that, first of all, the troops are in order and still doing what they're supposed to do, but also that, the level of communication and the fact that, I guess, the rapport that we have established is something that is working into the night to make sure all of this goes on as seamlessly to you as possible. Having said that, I wanted to ask Anne-Marie to help me with a few of the awards, please. Each of these committees have contributed in wonderful ways, as we know. The Wednesday night committee, which was headed by the Rotaract group, which I also mentioned that night for those of you who were there, arranged everything on that evening on their own, did all the planning for themselves, and I think proved beyond any shadow of a doubt, at least for that particular occasion, that they certainly know how to plan and arrange things. And so I commend them for that job. So very well done. And the liaison person for whom we dealt with respect to that event also happens to be the representative of Rotaract on the planning committee as well. So I want to give her very special recognition for all the hard work that she's done, for the fact that she and I have had a rapport and good communication for several years now, and clearly that was a bonus because of the fact that, like I said, there were many things that we had to deal with problematically and otherwise. So I'd like to call up now to receive an award of appreciation to Giselle Holder, immediate past DRR. Despite the fact that there were several people, or perhaps hundreds of people, who thought that the district conference registration fee was affordable or a little beyond affordable. It's interesting information for all of you to know, as well as Wadi, of course, who is going to have one next year, that the district conference registration fee does not, in case you're surprised, pay for everything. So there was a big effort behind the scenes in order to get additional sponsorship to make all of this a reality. And we had one person spearhead the sponsorship committee towards this grand effort and to acquire all the wonderful sponsors that we did in fact get. So I'd like to recognize the person who was in charge of that committee to please come forward, and that is Mr. Curtis Das from the Rotary Club of Princestown. The awardees seem to be sitting furthest away from the stage, it seems. Thank you. As Curtis is coming forward, and in the interest of time, I would also like to mention that one of the persons who had a grand job of putting together that magazine for our conference, as well as the conference program, and did such a marvelous job at that as well, I would like to recognize her with a token of appreciation as well, and I call Maria Mohammed. So having acquired the sponsorship funds, we needed to have somebody manage that process. I think he's sitting a little closer to the front of the stage, I imagine. So I'd like to also call up now, in appreciation of all the good work that he's done in the finance department, Mr. Rabindra Autar. And most of you have been using the transportation system provided by the buses. And interestingly, I think this is one of the committees that went over and beyond in terms of the numbers of people involved, as well as the numbers of meetings that they had and so on, as well as the number of resources that they have apparently used. But I think this was most in need because of the numbers that we have in the room today and the numbers of people who have attended this conference, and to make sure that everything has gone as smoothly as possible. So our logistics committee, I think made up of at least 40 Rotarians and then another 40 volunteers, which is interesting, have been working very hard behind the scenes and have been so ably led by one person who has done such a wonderful job. And he's a PDG, and I'd like to call him up now to give him an award. That's PDG Stephen Ramrup.
For the team, the entire team.
So on the opening night, which you will recall vaguely, okay, I was checking to see if everybody was awake. On the opening night, which I'm sure you recall very well, yes, okay. On the opening night at the Napa, where we had that wonderful show, oh, now you remember, where we had that wonderful show, there was one Rotarian, of course, who led the committee that made all those arrangements as well. And for those of you who don't know, that was a completely original production that we had that night that was led and arranged by a Rotarian as well, produced by a Rotarian. And I think that it's something that's going to stick in my memory for a long time because it was so wonderfully done. The person, however, behind the scenes who was able to pull all the government strings, so to speak, in terms of getting the Napa facility, which was actually closed, and you would not have known that, I'm sure you would not have known that, that facility was actually closed until about a week before we had the show there. So you can imagine all the logistics that was involved in that. And then perhaps many of you don't know as well that we also had our Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force is actually who did the catering that night. So we had quite a few, we had a lot of, let's put it this way, we had a lot of government intervention. So the person who was able to wield all that power in order to have all that government intervention, in order to make that so special that night, is no other than Major Lawrence Wilson from the Rotary Club of Port of Spain. You know, as you're walking up, I was told Lawrence doesn't appear at anything during the day, and his first appearance at any point in time during the day is after 9 p.m. So I'm glad you arrived. I don't think he's here tonight. At least I'm not certain. But, oh no, he is here. I remember seeing him now. Good. So the next person I would like to give an award to is the person who happens to be the person who very discreetly passed by the table earlier and told me problem solved. So now you're going to find out who that guy is. But he is the person who has, in my opinion, made a humongous difference in terms of the public image of District 7030, in terms of all his hard work behind the scenes with particular regard to our district website, the work that has gone into making our district website now a bilingual one. And indeed, for this conference, I must add a lot of behind-the-scenes work with respect to the media folks, the audio folks, the planning and arrangements. Even the day when the RI rep did not get a car on time, he turned around and arranged the car for me in 15 minutes. So a very multifaceted, multi-talented person, but probably the quietest person in the room. So maybe you already know who it is. But I'd like to call him forward now, which he does not like at all. But I have to call him, of course, and give him a token of appreciation in front of everybody, Mr. Sean Paddy. He's trying to smile.
Only when I get 3 kisses.
So last night we had that wonderful time at the Anchorage, and I had mentioned the name of the person last night who was the person in charge of that committee, Mr. Vishnu Balrup. I don't think he's here tonight. I'm correct. Okay, so he's not here tonight, but I just want to recognize in front of everybody, Mr. Vishnu Balrup, who more or less single-handedly made all the arrangements for last night. The committee for tonight, who's also worked very hard, as I'm sure you realize, was headed by a gentleman from San Fernando. As you can tell, at least to this point, they have put a lot of time and effort into this, wonderful time and effort. And I hope the band is not here still, but I'm actually going to admit to you that when we had budget constraints, I was telling this committee that they needed to cut the quartet that played the wonderful music for us for the last hour. So after almost being shot and quartered, they had ample, I suppose, evidence to prove to me that that was not a good decision. I have no problem saying or admitting to that. They, in fact, made a stellar decision by having them because we had a wonderful, wonderful accompaniment by them. So as a token of award to the committee head who was arranged for tonight, I'd like to call Michael Kangaloo. So about a year ago, what are we, April? Yes, so just about a year ago, I sat down in Gulf City Mall in San Fernando and had a conversation in the food court. You know, everybody knows what the food court in a mall is like. It's very busy, it's very loud, and it's really not a place that I would necessarily go and have lunch, well, except if I was in Florida maybe. But this is a food court in Gulf City in San Fernando where I sat down and had this very casual conversation with a young lady because I knew that I had to have somebody in charge of taking care of this conference. Before I finish that story, I think perhaps what I should tell you is that in choosing people to be on your committee, obviously there's a lot of thought and a lot of serious decision making that has to be done. It just occurred to me that if one does not have good people close to them, there are so many things that you would not be able to accomplish. So Steve, whose name I mentioned earlier, and I forgot to mention this, is actually the district treasurer. It's a pity he's not here tonight. I would have liked to have given him his award as well, nor Vishnu. But other people close to me include obviously the conference chair, but also someone who has done and continues to do, including tonight, duties that only a secretary can properly do. So before I go on, I think I really need to recognize, most definitely, the person who has done all these wonderful chores, messages, check-ons, feedback, etc., in such a wonderful way. And I could not have done it without her. So I would like to now ask the person who's been helping me to bring the awards, if she could bring up her own award so, so I could give it to her. District Secretary, Mommy, Usher, Reminder. Did I mention Mommy? Very, very mummy-ish. Anne-Marie, thank you so much for everything that you've done and continue to do. And I'm going to say this 400 more times between now and June, I suppose, and perhaps thereafter as well. But I'm so happy to have Anne-Marie as the District Secretary, and you've done such a great job. Thank you. So I had the meeting in the mall, and I chose a district secretary, as you now know. But interestingly, and I don't know why the mall seemed to have created this aura of a good meeting place, God alone knows why. I had another such meeting in the mall. That day I did not have lunch, fortunately. But that person that I spoke to was to discuss whether they would be interested in accepting the position of conference chair. And immediately before I even finished making the offer, she said, yes, that's something I want to do. So I was happy with that, and we went on talking other Rotary business. About 2 days later, I'm sorry to do you this, but about 2 days later, she called me with panic in her voice. Oh my God, I just thought about this properly, and no, I don't think I could do that, no. So I said, let's sit down and have lunch. I think we need to talk about it. So we went and we had lunch. And by the time we finished having lunch, I was able to convince her that this was something that I had absolute faith in her to do. And I think part of the reason why she was a little shaky about accepting the position was not really that she was or thought of herself as being incapable. I think that she was a bit shell-shocked that I thought that she was capable. And I say that with all respect. I say that with all respect, obviously, because I could tell you in all honesty that there were many a Rotarian who told me to my face or behind my back that they couldn't understand how I would choose somebody who was apparently so inexperienced. And indeed, in this forum, I don't mind saying it, I was even told, how could you choose somebody to do your conference in Port of Spain who was not from Port of Spain? So I thought about this, and I realized that apart from the fact that I have such supreme confidence in this person, that I was going to go ahead with my decision anyway, because that's how I am. But having said that, I have seen this person grow so amazingly between that time and now. She used to be, and she even said this about herself, she used to be the most impatient person on the planet. She had no patience. She didn't even have patience if she sent me a text message and I didn't reply in 2 seconds, she was upset. She honestly had no patience. She has gone from that, in my opinion, to completely the other end of the spectrum, because I've seen her under intense pressure, especially of late with respect to managing all the arrangements, managing all the conference committee chairs who I just made mention of, and managing all the problems and the fires that quelled, or to quell all the fires, I should say, that came up from time to time. 2 other things I want to mention before I bring her up to the stage is that the amazing commitment that this young woman has shown is something that I will always remember. I'm going to give you 2 examples very quickly. All of us went to the Napa show that opening night, and we had a wonderful time, and we all jumped in the buses after, and we left, and we came back here. and went to the hospitality suite, of course. And some of us, including myself actually, stayed back afterwards because she insisted on staying back to make sure, knowing that the Napa belonged to the government, I suppose, that everything was properly done, removed, folded, loaded into the trucks, made sure that all the plants were put properly into the trucks because she didn't want the leaves to get damaged. Literally stayed there until every single last thing was done just to make sure for herself that it was done properly. She then came here, went to the hospitality room, I believe, for, I don't know, one drink, and then came back here with her wonderful team of volunteers to decorate and make arrangements for this place up until 3 o'clock that morning. And that was Thursday night. Varsha has practically, and you heard in her bio that she has her own business, and Varsha has practically shut down her business for the entire week, brought her entire staff up to the Hyatt for the entire week, who volunteered for their boss to work for us for our conference. I think that's fabulous. It also says a lot about her. And it says a lot about her because not only is she demonstrating her fantastic commitment, but she is also encouraging her own staff to get involved in doing things for others, to get involved in volunteerism, and to get them to agree to follow her here to do this. I can't tell you how much more proud I am of her and all the wonderful arrangements that she's made for this fantastic conference so far. Varsha, please come forward. Words from the Rotary Foundation. In appreciation of tangible and significant assistance given for the furtherance of better understanding and friendly relations among peoples of the world. Those are the words that are used on the certificate of a Paul Harris Fellow, which I believe everybody would agree with me is more than deserved by this person for her wonderful dedication and hard work towards this conference. Varsha, please come back to receive your second Paul Harris Fellow. So before I turn over the microphone, we've had a few very specially invited guests to our conference. In conversation with one or two PDGs, I think it was easy for us to make a decision about the folks who we would have liked to be in our conference, who we thought would be able to make a valuable contribution to our conference. And it was actually a fairly easy decision. So we are so happy to have had, at least on, I think, the third occasion for one person and the first occasion for the other, these folks from, these very hardworking people from Rotary International come all the way down from Chicago to our conference and, in fact, make such a valuable contribution to our conference. I would like to give them each a token of appreciation and something Trinidadian before they leave. So may I ask Rebecca and Mani to come forward, please? You would recall we also had our zone coordinator, Mr. Art McQueen, who I've also arranged a token for. He has left already. He had to leave yesterday, as a matter of fact, to carry out urgent business that has to do with the convention in Atlanta. So he had to leave yesterday, but I'm sure that these ladies would be willing to take it up to Chicago for him. I know. But thanks anyway, and I would like to recognize the contribution of Art as well. I would also like to thank RI Special Representative Mike for the wonderful words that he has given us, but also for the wonderful company that he and Anne have been, and the fact that despite our initial concerns about what the reaction would be like to soca music, and indeed to people winding down to the floor, seems to have actually been quite good. I think they enjoyed themselves very much. I would like to ask Mike to come forward now. I'd like to give him a token of appreciation. Thanks again, Mike. So folks, that brings me to the end of the awards that I would be giving this evening. Annie? Yes? Okay. What do you see why you need a good district secretary? Now, this young man, whom I'm sorry to say that I overlooked temporarily until Mommy advised me. The decision with respect to his appointment, or to request him to help, was because I thought that having such a young and relatively inexperienced conference chair, perhaps we needed somebody to support her who had had previous conference experience and who had demonstrated a wonderful ability to arrange and to give support, as he has done in the past. So I'm sorry that I overlooked you temporarily, sir, but I would now like to call our conference secretary and very, very, very experienced and able Rotarian, Mr. Jerry Popperwell, to come forward to receive a token, please. As I said, young and sprightly. So there's one other presentation I'd like to make, and interestingly, it's to one of the same people who was up here before. Apart from the commitment that I mentioned before of Conference Chair Varsha, and in my opinion, the supreme management skills that she's shown, I think that apart from seeing this person develop, as I had mentioned before, and seeing this person mature as far as I'm concerned, I think what is also quite obvious is that she is rather tired from this journey, She's hardly slept, and she definitely needs some kind of R&R after this, I'm sure. So Vash, I just want to call you back up for 1 minute again, please, because I have to give you something else. People can guess, I suppose, what this might be, because it's actually just an envelope. But I think a holiday is well deserved, and that's what this represents. So, Madam MC, I am done for the evening. Thank you so much.
That was hard work, Roger. Give Roger a round of applause. Pasha girl, you make out like a bandit. Nice. All right, so, and we congratulate all the recipients for their achievements, and it's all about celebration tonight. So at this time, we move into our final set of special awards. Yes, and all you want to dance, which would be presented to some of the hardworking members of the conference planning committee, and we know how hard they've worked. Here to deliver the vote of thanks and to present these special awards to the planning committee, ladies and gentlemen, we invite the hardworking and talented Ms. Vasha Suraj Singh, the conference chair, to help us with these awards. Oh, good girl, Vasha. You know, you gotta come up here so much time, girl. Ooh, you good? All right, you look lovely.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. All established protocols observed. When I was a very little girl, I remember being at a wedding. And in this wedding, the bride and groom were giving the longest possible vote of thanks conceivable. Being young and irritable, I turned to my grandfather, who was next to me at the time, and I told him, in my wedding, I'm going to skip this part. And he just looked at me and he chuckled and he said, when your time reaches, that would be the time you look forward to the most, because it's during that vote of thanks that you get to thank those persons on whose shoulders you've stood for your entire life. Now, being unmarried, this is the closest and probably the biggest vote of thanks I've ever had to deliver in my life. So I ask you all to bear with me as I give thanks to those persons who have made this all possible in the last 4 days. Firstly, I have to thank DJ Roger for believing in me and entrusting this huge responsibility. I know it was probably a difficult decision, but I'm very glad that I was given the opportunity to have this experience of a lifetime, so thank you. We had many challenges this year. Firstly, it was the first joint Rotary and Rotaract conference, which made it a logistical nightmare. Secondly, this space that we're currently using was under renovations, and it was only handed over to us 1 day before the conference started. So we could not do any site visits or anything like that with the space before. Thirdly, the conference in Atlanta made registrations up to the point of the week of the conference so low that we were worried that we would not get a turnout, and so we were very worried about registrations for the conference itself. And fourthly, the current recessionary period in Trinidad made our anticipated sponsors very low, and so we had a lot of budgetary concerns. However, at the end of the day, we were able to triumph and bring to you 4 days of celebration, inspiration, and motivation, which I hope you all enjoyed. To all members of the Planning Committee and the Logistics Extended Committee, I'd like to thank you. There were over 100 persons who assisted and helped in one way or the other with this conference. I cannot call your names because you are so many persons to mention. Oh, I didn't realize you were playing the PowerPoint, but it really has photos of all the planning meetings we would have had over the past year or so. To the members of the Planning Committee, your hard work and dedication over the past year has materialized into one of the most memorable conferences in District 7030 history. I owe much gratitude to all team members for their determination, hard work, and perseverance. Special thanks to those Rotarians who graciously hosted our meetings in the past year. I would like to invite all members of the Planning Committee to stand and be acknowledged this time. Members, please stand. All members of the Planning Committee, all members of the Planning Committee, I know there are more of you in the audience. All members of the Planning Committee, all members, thank you. Please acknowledge these wonderful Rotarians who exemplify service above self. To the PETS organizers, particularly DG Iwadi and PDG Lara, thank you for your support in this area to ensure the seamless delivery of training modules to all present. You certainly attracted a wider audience, which meant more cost for us. However, the quality of the presentations was so stellar that you must be commended for your works and your efforts. Thank you so much. To all presenters for the conference program, thank you for your dedication and commitment to sharing knowledge and capacity building in Rotary. I am hopeful that your presentations will inspire Rotarians and Rotaractors into positive action to better serve their communities. To the Rotaractors, thank you for agreeing to be part of this conference with us. You are the future of Rotary, and you have made us all incredibly proud. RI Rep, Michael, and partner in service, Anne, thank you for gracing us with your warm presence and friendliness. Your kind words, genuine interest, and inspiring advice will certainly anchor us for the year ahead. The cost of this conference was high enough to buy 500,000 doubles with slide pepper. I know you're all doing the maths right now, so while you do that, allow me to offer my thanks to the sponsors and donors who have made this happen. Cable and Wireless, NLCB, Shell, Kariri, Rams Logistics, Atlantic LNG, Unitrust Corporation, Nutrimix, ODPM. Thank you all. To our donors for the event who have donated items to assist with the conference, special mention must be made to you. Artwork Concepts, Mischief Advertising, Hadco, Balrup Sound, Lullaby, Media 21, Blue Mountain Waters, Caribel, Kishan B Photography, Raleigh Boys Party Girls Photography, Ministry of Trade, Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, Ministry of Agriculture, Eventology, Nestle, Angostura, Kelvin Ghani, NCC, Three Canal, Wendell Constantine, Melville Shipping, Napa, UDICOT, Ministry of Culture, TDC, BEI Limited, Interactive Data Labs, Structured Events, Buzz Concepts, Docks Ranch, Ariella Tom, Magic Miss, Imgen Security Services, AS Bryden, BMW, Peter Pitt, Powermark Limited, the Jamaican Embassy, the Anchorage, and Blue Waters. Most of you would have recognized a lot of these names because they are all Rotarians. Most of them are Rotarians, so thank you very much. Our exhibitors ensure that our pre-function space was live and interactive, and we are all grateful for them for their interaction with us. To all Rotary clubs who have contributed towards the conference by way of financial donations, and those who have participated in the House of Friendship, thank you for your support. To all volunteers who have been present, ensuring a smooth flow at the Secretariat, I salute you for your volunteerism and thank you. Special thanks to Mr. Russell George for affording us great hospitality at the Hyatt Hotel. To Sean Mahabir Singh, Foster, and Richard, the behind-the-scenes crew always wear black, but I shall not allow you to fade into the background, as without your constant 24/7 support, the conference will not be a success. Last, but certainly not least, to my family, friends, and team who have supported me and kept me sane through it all. I am not sure what I've ever done to deserve you all in my life, but I'm so happy to have you. To anyone who has been inadvertently left out, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for your efforts and commitment to making this dream a reality. There are, however, some members of the committee who have been present from the very first day and stuck by through the last. They have gone exceedingly beyond the call of duty and never had to be reminded to do what was asked of them. They consistently performed beyond their areas of responsibilities and showed up when it mattered most. Had it not been for these persons, we would not be enjoying this great conference experience today. They turned problems into solutions and exemplified what service above self really means. I would like to recognize these persons tonight. Firstly, Gerald Popplewell. What can I say about Jerry? Had I known that he was 80-something years old when I first asked him, I would not have burdened him with this responsibility. However, Jerry seemed to be more youthful than me at times and did it with such grace, finesse, and humility, and taught me so much about what being a true Rotarian really is. From the bottom of my heart, Jerry, I really wish to thank you and call on you to accept this token of appreciation. Maria Mohammed, the powerhouse of the conference, as I would call her. She was responsible for chairing the magazine committee and putting the magazine together. But along with that, she was also the secretary for logistics. She also coordinated different marketing material, and she was really there for support and to count on for some level-headed advice whenever I needed it. To vent, to complain, to do anything, Maria was there with her usual, humble, level-headed self. And I really, really appreciate everything that you've done, Maria, and really want to acknowledge you tonight. Can you please come up for a token of appreciation? Giselle Holder. There's not much I can say about Giselle except to describe her as perfect. She really epitomizes what it is to be a good person. And if the Rotaract is the future of Rotary, I think we are really in good hands. Please accept your token of appreciation, Giselle. Stephen Ramrup, when I chose you to be the chair of logistics, I knew that this was one committee I would not have to worry about. Thank you for ensuring that I never had to worry about it. Please accept your token of appreciation. There's always one guy you can call on when you have any problem, and you know you'll get it solved no matter what the problem is. This person had consistently gone beyond the call of duty to solve problems that didn't even yet exist. But he taught me so much along the way, and I must say, collectively, that it was such a great experience because being from what was a South club, when I was in the Rotary Club of Pinal, interacting with Rotarians from other clubs really opened my eyes to what was out there. And one such Rotarian was none other than Major Lawrence. We called on him anytime there was any problem, and he never hesitated to help us solve it. With smile, with grace, with good character and cheer, I really need to thank Major Lawrence Wilson and call on him to accept this award. This is the guy that recruited about 100 volunteers in a committee and kept calling for more volunteers when the other committees probably had about 2 members. And I had to consistently call this person and be like, Ken, you know we need help in other committees. Why do you need 100 persons on logistics? Why? So Ken and I went back and forth on this for a while, but then I realized that the camaraderie and fellowship that Ken shared with his East clubs and members, it was really something that kept the conference going and in good cheer. So Ken, for your efforts towards the Transport Committee and camaraderie and the Rotarian spirit of fellowship, I thank you and call on you to accept this award. Now there's one person on the team that has to have great attention to detail, extremely thorough, detail-oriented, and ensuring that we do the right thing at all times. This person may not know how much I respect him and his work, despite everything else, but he has taught me probably more than anyone else has taught me on this committee. To Sean Paddy, I call on you to accept this award for your stellar contribution towards the conference.
I gave Roger 4 kisses.
IT support, Mr. Fix-It, camaraderie, simply a good, decent human being. Roger Curtin. And finally, this person embroidered caps for his team to ensure that Rotary camaraderie at our meetings. He was a person who always asked the question, what are we having for lunch? He would always walk with a cooler coming to meetings to ensure that we were well stocked and could de-stress after a good cuss out. Rabindra Outer, please accept this token of appreciation. I am now officially relieved that it is all over, and I will now be allowing myself to share a drink and enjoy the conference for the very first time. Cheers to all, and please have an enjoyable night. I thank you.
Yeah, you deserve a drink, Vasha. Give a round of applause. Drinks on me, Vasha. Whatever you want by the bar, tell them I sent you. Nice. Okay, so again, congrats to everyone who received their awards. And again, congrats to the conference planning committee. Please give them another round of applause. Hard work organizing all of this. Well, it's time to take this evening's celebration to the next level. As we bring the curtains down on the District 7030 Conference 2017, we must once again thank all of you for being part of this amazing journey. Tonight, we celebrate the 25th anniversary of District 7030. We celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Rotary Foundation. And we welcome and celebrate the ABC Club, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao for the first time being in District 7030. We thank you. And we celebrate the fact that this is the first time in district that we had a joint Rotary and Rotaract conference. So thank you for that. So we've reached the point where it's time to party. We want you to take off your jackets. Ladies, it's okay to take off the heels. We know the heels are just to sit down and have dinner. And we are going to have such a great experience for you for your finale. We're getting ready to party with Ravi B and Karma. And trust me, we're going to clear away some tables and make some dancing room. Again, we thank you for being here. We thank you. We invite you to come back to our shows soon. And hopefully we will meet you on your shows very soon. Let's take in some DJ music. Get ready for the party.